Hello everybody, my name is Riley and welcome to or back to my channel. And I have a little friend here. She's just going to be taking a nap. If you're new here, hi, welcome. I'm so glad that you clicked on today's video. I post mainly book content with some sprinkles of lifestyle kind of content in there, but welcome. I upload every Friday. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing the 10 books I would pick if I could only have 10 books in my library. This was such a hard decision to make, but I made it. And I'm glad I did. So without further ado, let's get started. I have my notes on my phone here, so if I look down, I apologize. So this is not going to be in any particular order. First book I would keep is Love and Other Words by Christina Lauren. So this book is childhood friends to lovers, and it jumps back and forth between like past and present. I'm really bad at describing synopsis of books, but I'm going to tell you why I would pick it. I love how both of the characters, you can see them develop together as they're growing up, and then again when they meet up again in adulthood. I love character arcs, so seeing that was just like perfect, and the way that they wrote it was amazing. It truly feels like it is like the love story. It is phenomenal. I recommend it to everyone who has never read it. It is that good. I adore this book with everything I have. The next book I would pick would be Normal People by Sally Rooney. I'm also not holding any of the books because they're in stacks in my library, and I really cannot get myself to, take all of them out of my stacks. So this book is probably one of the most realistic books I've ever read. Sally Rooney's writing style is definitely different than a lot of other authors' writing style, so you kind of have to get used to it. A lot of people say they don't like it because they can't connect with it, and honestly I'm glad if you can't connect with it, because that was a hot mess of a book, but it was so good. But it's also, I don't know, like it was just so realistic. It got me from the very start of the book, and it just gripped me, and I fell in love with the characters. This book kind of shows like right person, wrong time, and I love that trope. Heartbreaking, but do love it, and I love to see the character arcs of how each of them grow. Again, love character arcs. The progress that they make, like each as a person, is amazing. So my next book I have on my list is Verity by Colleen Hoover. This is one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Colleen Hoover book. If you have not seen my ranking Colleen Hoover books Dance Mom style video, I'll put it up in the cards. I think it's up here. This is such an amazing thriller, and it's not like other thrillers that I've read. I love reading like thrillers and psychologically like what is going on, but this book is just different. Like even in the end, like you don't have a clear wrap up of what actually happened, and I think that's why so many people love the book, because it keeps you guessing. Like you don't know what happened. Colleen doesn't even know what happened. She answered that in an interview. She's like, I don't know. And there's just so many moving parts of the story that's going on, and it is just, to me, like the best thriller book. I could reread this till the end of time, and I probably will. It's amazing. Yeah, so that would definitely be on my list. The next book I have is Half Sick of Shadows by Laura Sebastian. I was very surprised that I loved this book. This book is a retelling of King Arthur and the Round Table, and it follows the main character, who's an oracle, so she can like see the future or see outcomes of the future before they happen. Anyways, it follows the oracle in the story, and you can see as like the whole Round Table squad, because that's what it is. It's pretty much like a squad, and how they grow over the years from like being children to, going to rescue their kingdom. It deals with a lot of revenge and vengeance and wrongness, and there's a lot of foreshadowing in this book. I don't know. I love retellings of like old stories, and I loved this book. This book was so good. Again, I really did not think I was gonna like it. I loved it. probably one of my favorite books that I've read so far in 2022. The next book I have is Joe and Laurie. Joe and Laurie is a spin-off of Little Women. Basically, it takes place halfway through the book. So take like Little Women, divide it in two and make it separate books. And so Joe is currently trying to write the second half of the Little Woman book. Yeah, so that's where they are right now. I mean, it's everyone's two favorite characters that I feel like never got together. It's childhood friends to lovers. It's just amazing. I loved this book. I love Little Women. I will do anything for any Little Woman, anything. I love it so much. I just feel like it healed all the wounds that never healed over, and it was amazing. I love that book so much. If you like Little Women or seen the movies, interested, this is definitely a good book to read. And it's written by Margaret Stoll and Melissa De La Cruz. The next book I would have is The Love Hypothesis. It's enemies to lovers, it's like rom-com, it's workplace romance. It's like one of the best, all those tropes I just listed, books I've ever read. It's amazing. This was originally a Star Wars fan fiction, and I'm here for it. I love Star Wars. I loved this book. It was amazing. Women in STEM, Hazelwood, amazing. I will do anything for Hazelwood. The next book I would have is November 9th by COLLEEN Hoover. This is also one of my favorite COLLEEN Hoover books. In this, you see character development, friends to lovers, right person, wrong time. I love this book. If you haven't heard of this book for some reason, these people meet up on November 9th accidentally, and then they see each other on November 9th every year after. And so you kind of follow the story and how it connects to each other, and it just blows your mind. The next books, you heard that right, plural, S. The next books I would have is the Harry Potter series. Now, you might be saying, Riley, that's a series. You're only supposed to have 10 books total. Well, my game, my rules, that's all I really have to say. But if you're really going to put a knife to my throat, it's the Deathly Hallows. I would put the Deathly Hallows out of all of the books. If you have not seen my honest review and spoiler-free review of the Harry Potter series, I will put it up here. This is my favorite book series. It swallows me whole. It's like family. I love it. All of it's coming with me. And that's, of course, by J.K. Rowling. We're not crazy. We don't live under a rock. Next, I have The Lovely War by Julie Berry. It's historical fiction. It's romance. It follows different storylines. It takes place in World War II, and you follow, I think, 3 couples in total. And what's different, what makes this book so amazing, is that it's told in the point of view of Greek gods. Amazing, I know. But listen, you're gonna hate me, so just don't hate me after I say this. I don't like mythology retellings of books. I love retellings of classic stories. I don't like retellings of mythology, like Circe and the Achilles heel, and I've tried. I've really given my best foot forward on this. I've tried several times, not my favorite. But this, exquisite. That's all I have to say. And if you haven't read it, you need to read it. And the last book I would have in my 10-book library would be Reminders of Him by COLLEEN Hoover. I also read this in January of this year, probably, again, one of my favorite 2022 reads. COLLEEN does this thing where she's so good at writing that you feel so guilty about liking someone, and then you feel guilty that you should like not like them because of their actions, and it goes back and forth for multiple main characters. And I feel like only COLLEEN, I've said this once before, I feel like only COLLEEN has the power to write like that. I've not seen that from any other author, where I can hate and love multiple characters within the book, and it just like, I keep going back and forth. It gripped me. I loved this book. It was seriously one of my favorite books I've read so far this year. It was so good. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this week's video. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe if you want to see more content from me, or hit the bell notification if you want to be notified as soon as I upload a video. I upload every Friday. Don't forget to check out any of my socials. I would love to be friends. I'll see y'all in the future. Bye.